You join us post-game in Miami, Florida, the FIU Stadium to be more precise. Costa Rica were the opponents tonight, and it was a fair result, but the lineup surprised us somewhat. Max, take us through this.
Well, yeah, a fair result for both teams. A fairly even game, ended in the 2-2 draw, of course. And of course, even for our selections in the pregame show tonight, Stephen Hart has totally surprised us with some moves. Perhaps we should have seen it coming, but Andre Eno getting the start at right back. He's been doing so with his club in Houston, so we shouldn't be that surprised. But we did speculate that Jamie Peters might be involved at right back. Of course, Jamie Peters was involved in more of an attacking midfield role, in which I thought he did quite well, but we'll get to that later. Obviously, Simeon Jackson was the center forward up front, with Ali Jalba only coming on later in the game, and more changes throughout. Josh Simpson, again, for the second time this tournament, getting the start on the left. And, of course, you had Paul Stalteri rested, Julian de Guzman rested, Mike Klukowski rested, and Ali Jalba coming off the bench. So a very different team for Canada tonight.
You mentioned a lot of youth in the starting lineup there. Do you think that was key for the performance tonight and how it changed either positively or negatively for Canada?
Well, I think Canada showed a lot of pace up front. Jamie Peters with a ton of pace, obviously a lot of speed. Simeon Jackson also with a lot of speed. And Josh Simpson with a ton of pace as well. So it was a very pacey attack. Quite different than the Canadian side we've seen going forward in the last two games, of course. I thought Jamie Peters showed, tremendous skill sometimes on the ball, some great footwork linking with Simeon Jackson. But as Stephen said in the press conference, sometimes a bit of inexperience, being a bit loose with the ball. Canada had more turnovers than we've seen in either of the two games previously. But overall, a great result against Costa Rica, who are currently ranked 30th in the FIFA rankings and one of the best teams in CONCACAF.
Let's contrast the youth with some of the age in the team and what some people are describing as a Greg Sutton error. Now, we're not 100% sure that it is totally his fault. I mean, the pitch played a massive part in this. How do you assess it?
Well, obviously there was a bit of a turnover on distribution from Greg, and that was the initial error, and that was just compounded by him slipping on the turf here. But to be fair, a lot of players slipping on this turf tonight, and as Stephen said, the players just did not feel comfortable on it. Obviously this will be tough on Greg. He had 2 clean sheets previously to this, actually 3 clean sheets in a row, so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Some supporters calling to take a look at Joshua Wagner tonight. Personally, I think that might have been a good time to take a look at Josh in a game where he could have felt comfortable, but now moving into the final rounds, I assume we'll have to stick with Greg Sutton, and we'll hope he comes back with strong form following this error tonight.
Now, not being from the CONCACAF Union, if you like, more of a UEFA kind of guy, I'm not used to the comings and goings of what happened this evening, but it's been fairly farcical in my eyes. How do you assess what's gone on post-game and also during the game?
Well, I think the whole event tonight's just been poorly coordinated. FIU Stadium here is only in stage 2 of what is a 4-stage development, so it hardly seems like they were even equipped to host this game tonight. Obviously, you and I are struggling with difficult internet connections, lack of power supply, just a bit of general chaos in terms of the staff organizing the event, and this translated into the stands, and there was a bit of a post-game melee by the Canadian bus. Some police had to get involved, and just overall, it seems like for a continental championship, this isn't the level of organization we might expect from CONCACAF. And again, just in terms of media coverage, making it difficult for the media to do their job, and it's hard to understand how we're supposed to grow the sport within North America when we operate in conditions like this.
Yeah, the stormy skies above this stadium certainly somewhat of a metaphor for what has gone on this evening. How does Canada move on from this draw this evening, and how can we look forward to the rest of the tournament?
Well, Canada will be playing on July 18th, which is next Saturday. In Philadelphia and Pennsylvania, of course, and it looks like the likely opponents will be Honduras or Haiti as a second-place finisher out of Group B. And I think Canada will line up very, very nicely against those two teams. Obviously, it most likely will be Honduras, but let's remember this isn't a Honduras A team, the team that gave Canada so much trouble in World Cup qualifying. So I think regardless of the opponent, Canada will be well set to match them on the pitch. Canada obviously radiating with confidence right now. They went toe-to-toe with one of the best sides in CONCACAF. In front of Costa Rican fans on artificial surface tonight. So I think once we get back on natural grass, be it Honduras or Haiti, as Julian de Guzman said, there's no fear in this team, and I think Canada will be going out looking for the win right from the first whistle.
So you see Canada going forward with confidence from this game, maybe a few of the first-team players returning to the lineup, and it's going to be a fairly interesting next couple of weeks as we see Canada progress in the tournament and see which teams they do actually come up against and see how well they perform against them. In terms of our coverage, sadly this is our final report from Miami. It's been a wonderful trip. Max, what are your thoughts?
It's been a great trip, Laurence. Such a pleasure to be around the team, and we'll address that a bit further as to what the Voyageurs need to do to keep this moving. But I'd like to thank everybody for the support thus far, and hopefully we can build on this for years to come.
Thank you very much for joining us this evening, and for the rest of the tournament, we hope you enjoy it.